Good day everyone, I'm Primijan Basmayor. I'm first reporter of Group 1. The topic is about the personal finance. So what is a personal finance? So personal finance is the process of managing your money to financial goods and needs. And also it is a cover everything how you earn, spend, invest, and protect your money. So before we discuss of main topic of personal finance is let me first read the chapter objective of my topic, which is the personal finance. So first will be the differentiates needs from wants. Second is enumerate the different financial life stages. Third is define financial and independence. Fourth is give the two sources of income. 5 is enumerate the different obstacles to financial freedom. Last but not the least, give the 8 ways to invest your savings. So we are done to read the chapter objective of personal finance. So let's proceed to another discussion. So next discussion is about the where should you start. So from the words where should you start? So asa ta magsugod og himo og business. So first, where should you start is the first step to getting your personal finance under control to clearly understand where you now. So first of all, we should start a small business, and also we need to budget your money and make business plans, and also last of the personal finance is the control your money or avoid expense your money. So second is less your assets and liabilities. So from the words asset, so asset is nakay sariling business, which is the, for example, that one is coffee, restaurant, car, and you have our own accounts and cash. And also the liabilities is mga utang like mga bank loan and payment salaries and utilities and so on and so forth. So next one is to make your own balance sheet. So what is the balance sheet? So balance sheet is the main financial statement and a financial statement of the business. So tanan financial dala dira sila ledger, journal entry, transactions, summarizing, and so on so forth. Dapat ang balance sheet is dapat si assets and liabilities and equity is dapat nakabalance siya. And also ang formula na nila duha is ang formula sa assets rather is asset equals liabilities plus equity. Next one is you should know your own personal equity. So from the words here, you should know. So dapat kabalo ka kung pila ang kwarta nga imong gigasto sa isa ka business, and kabalo pug ka mudala sa imong business na para dili siya mabutang sa crisis or makuan ka malos or mawala imuhang business. So that is where should you start. So next topics is about the 6 types of real basic needs. So and basic needs is there are 6 types. So first is food, second is clothing, third is housing and utilities, fourth is transportations, 5 is education and insurance, 6 leisure and travel and parties. So first will be discussed on you is food. So food is simple and nutritious food cook home is a need. So para sa tuwa is a food manggot is the isa na po siya sa need sa tuwa. And also like nabilon siya po siya sa personal finance kay ang mga kanang ginakaon nato is ginapalit man po na siya sa market or sa other place nga na ay mga namaligya. Second is clothes. Clothes is you do not need expensive designing clothes to look good. So para sa tuwa is di mo nato need og expenses clothes kana mga mahal nga mga gamit kina naman sa mga dapling na which is okay kay dili magutanan nga nasa okay is mga dili tarong. So usually sa tuwa manggod pobrita kay ang ato alang ma-afford is nasa okay lang. So and also kuan po nato siya kana mamili man pud tarong nga gamit na mabagay po sa tuwa. So isa na po siya sa example sa ato ang real needs, basic needs rather. So first the third is the basic real needs is having housing and utilities. So with simple furnitures, basic stone, small TV, and etc. So ang housing is utilities mga gamit sa balay which is the small TV and rice cooker and other things nga naa diriya. So and also kung para mo sa tuwa for the past generation man good is sagaran mga bata is need magunilag mga night TV para napa sila iningaw. And also kita maput is ang ato na manggod karon for this generation mostly that mostly sa ato karon is addict na sa mga social media sa mga kanang ginagamit ato ang kanang things which is cellphone or other gadgets nga ginagamit nato. So next one is transportation. So transportations is owning bicycles, motorcycles, or car are usually ones. So para mo sa tuwa is bicycles, motorcycles, and car is sagara man good sa mga mostly students nga sa ato karon is na sila mga motor para kung ano na po ang ilang allowance kanang dili ma-minus and also ma-budget na po na ilahang mga budget nila ilang kwarta. And also ang ato amang gong topic is about personal needs at personal finance. So nada na sila budgets and so on and so forth. So the next one is education and insurance. So education and insurance, health insurance and life insurance, especially if you have a family dependence you are needs. So usually man good educations or insurance is di ba gud sa tuwa. For example na emergency. So for example, simbak pamilya sa inyo na disgrasya sa highway, then and also magamit na po nato siya sa through the insurance so like mga PhilHealth, mga other insurance nga para dili ta maglisod og bayad sa hospital. And also ang insurance man good need mo nato siya sa personal Japon nato kay para pag-abot sa panahon nga nila jud nato is magamit man gud nato siya sa atua. So next one is leisure, travels, and parties. So we need a simple recreations to balance our life. So para sa tuwa is leisure, travels, and parties. So para man sa tuwa is di man nato malikayan ang parties, travel, and other nga pili na to. For example, stress kay ta. Then also ang way bayan nato is mang travel ta then gusto na to magpa-kalma or kung ano to para maiwas-iwas po na to ang stress. And also parties. So parties di mo jud siya malikayan such as birthday and and other nga mga event. So next topic is 4 types of financial life stages. So first, financial life stages is start up stage. So only source of income is your salary or earnings. So ang start up stage is monthly from your job or small business. And also other words is learning to budget or control spending and maybe save a little. So that is a startup stages. So the next one is build up stage. So contribute at least 20% of your total income. So ang build up stages is salary or business, but now you begin serious saving or investing. And also sa ato manggod sa sagaran manggod sa mga nanay trabaho is ginabawasan manggod nila og percent ang sweldo nila, which is the SS. So actually kita need manggod nato magkuhan og mga SS para for the SS contribution para pag-abot sa panahon nga mag-retire ta. So natay mga kwarta nga magamit sa po nato. Para naatay magamit pag-abot sa panahon if mag-resign ka or mag-retire ka as a employee. Third is the asset allocation stage. So asset allocation stage income is being provided by your saving and investment. So ang asset allocation stage is naga-provide siya or naga-invest siya money sa mga tao. For example, is collector. Ang collector is naga-invest siya sa mga poor people, which is na kanang example na niya is sa palengke, which is na 5-6, and also sa manggod sa mga mga business sa public market is nagautang mo sila kwarta sa mga NDIA or ginatawag nila og torko kay para napo sila makapital og napo sila allowance for the children's child. Next one is retirement stage, the income from your savings and investments. So what I have said earlier is kung mag-retire na ta is natay mga income makuha na to sa ato ang mga sweldo dati, which is income from your savings. Mga savings na to mga savings na to nga kwarta nga this is the final stage of your financial life cycles monthly after you stop working full time. So same lang Japan na siya sa business gina-cycle nila kay para ang ilang kwarta is dili maurot dayon kumbaga. So next last topic is about the two sources of income. So two sources of incomes, there are two income, which is active income and passive income. So first sources of income is active income. So hard work, your skills, talents, and time. So see, active income is this is the money you earn through your hard work, time, and efforts, and also you need to be actively involved to receive this income. So ang active income is kanang part-time job is belong dyan po na siya sa active income. And also hard work kanang good performance kay ka, Then na kay mga skills ginapakita like speaking skills, communication skills, and so on and so forth. So ang active income is there are two types, which is the primary income and additional income. So first, primary income is a form of salaries, allowance, commissions, and professional fees. So primary income is nabilong din na sila salary, allowance nimo everyday as students, mga allowance sa mga estudyante, and commissions and professional fees like mga maestra, mga sweldo sa mga maestra, mga professional, mga empleyado, mga government employees fees. And also additional lang po na to ang mga allowance sa mga bata, which is na makita students. So ginatagaan mo po to sa to ang mga parents og kwarta for allowance na to para pampliti, then para napod tayo kwarta nga mapalit po para dili po ta gutumon. And also additional income from your salaries just as overtime fee. So ang additional income like for example musweldo ka sa isa ka adlaw og 500, then nag overtime ka, dapat si kumpanya mag-add na pud siya og sweldo, mag-add na siya og sweldo sa employee nga nag-overtime, which is 8 hours, then 500 ang iya. So katong nga sa 8 to 5, 8 until 5, which is 500 pesos ang iyahang sweldo. Then nag-overtime man siya is mag-add na pud tag another hour, and also i-minus na to siya pila ang yan na to siya. For example we start ta sa 6, 7, 8, and 9. Kung sa kana si 9 is i-divide na to siya sa 500 nga sweldo. So 500 divided by 4, 500 divided by 4, so naatay 125. So ang empleyado nga iyang sweldo nga 500 sa isa ka adlaw, then nag-overtime siya, nag-add siya og another hour is na siya 125 pesos. So kumbaga pa sa 500 then mag-overtime siya, naa siya 125, then total na to siya. So sa isa ka adlaw niya in a whole day niya is na siya 625 pesos at 625. And also sa garam mo sa mga empleyado is dira na nila makuha ang ilahang 125 sa ilan na yung salary. Next discuss is last but not the least is about the passive income. So passive income is the income generated by your earnings, assets, and investment. So last is this is the money you earn from asset, savings, or investments even if you're not actively working. And also it is called passive because it continues to flow with little to no effort and once it up. So for example, that one is a rental income from a house or apartment, and the next one is a dividends from stocks, and also interest from savings or bonds. So ang asset nimo, ang passive income rather is naga-generate siya through the assets and investment ninyo sa kumpanya. So thank you, and also thanks for listen to my discussion. So good day and have a good night.
important labor standard set by the law for employees in the Philippines. Normal hours of work. The standard working hours for employees should not or dili molapas og 8 hours a day. Kay kini nga rule is naga-prevent og overwork sa mga employees, and also it protect the health and well-being of the workers. The typical work in six days a week was 48 hours. Sa overtime work is if mulapas og 8 hours ang imuhang work is matawag na siya og overtime. And they was entitled to overtime pay. So overtime rate is nagadepend siya sa type of workday. So ordinary day is overtime pay is calculated at 25% of the employee's regular hourly wage. Sa rest day or holiday, if an employee work overtime on a rest day or regular holiday, the overtime pay rate is 30%. Compressed work week is a schedule that allow employees to work full-time hours in a fewer than 6 hours. For example, sa 4 days is 10 hours ilahang work na dapat ay sa 5 days is 8 hours lang. And sa meal break, tagaan og 1 hour or 60 minutes ang mga employees para magkaon. Waiting time. Under Philippine labor law, waiting time is compensable when an employee is engaged to wait. The waiting time is considered hours worked and must be paid at the regular wage. Travel time from home to work and vice versa is not compensable. This is because the commute is considered personal to the employee, and the employer has no control over this period. Sa night shift differential, employees are entitled to a night shift differential not less than 10% of the regular wage for each hours of work performed between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Sa rest day is tagaan og rest day ang mga employees. If mag-work ang employees sa ilahang rest day is makakuha sila og additional 30% sa ilahang daily salary. Holiday pay. This is a compensation an employee receive during regular holiday. If mo-absent ang employee is makakuha lang sila og 100%. If mag-work ang employee is makakuha siya og 200%. Sa special day is kanang no work no pay. If mo trabaho pud ka ana nga adlaw is makakuha ka og additional 30% sa ilahang daily rate. So, total is 130%. So, mura siya og double pay. Basic wage computation, the employees work 8 hours a day from Monday to Saturday. So, total niya is 48 hours per week. 100 ang ma-earn per hour. So sa per day niya is makakuha siya og 800. So and sa iyahang week is for 4,800.
Mr. X works on a Toka store. On a regular day, he's scheduled for 8 hours, but one day he stays an extra 2 hours to help restock the shelves. Question: how much extra does he get for those 2 hours? Mr. X makes 100 per hour. So for 8 hours, that's 100 times 8 equals to 800. The company pays 25% extra for those overtime. So we multiply his hourly rate by 1.25. For 2 hours of overtime, it's 100 times 2 times 1.25 is equals to 250. Add the regular pay and overtime pay. 800 plus 250 is equals to 1,050. Mr. X gets 1,050 for that day. Now, let's say Mr. X doesn't work on a Good Friday, a regular holiday. Does he still get paid? In the Philippines, workers are often entitled to their regular wage, even if they don't work on a regular holiday. Mr. X still get 800 for that day. This is to ensure that workers don't lose income just because it's holiday. It's part of the labor laws to protect employees. Do you think this is a fair rule? Why or why not? On Ninoy Aquino Day, Mr. X did not report for work. How much should he receive as gross pay for that day? None. If an employee will not work on a special non-working holiday, he will not receive any salary unless there is a favorable company, policy practice, or granting payment on such days. Basically, if Mr. X doesn't work on a special non-working holiday, he doesn't get paid unless the company has a policy or agreement that says otherwise. On Monday, Thursday, another regular holiday, Mr. X works his usual 8 hours. How much does he get paid? When you work on your regular holiday, you often get double your daily wage. So, 100 times 8 hours times 2 is equals to 1,600. Mr. X gets 1,600 for working on Monday, Thursday. On New Year's Day, a regular holiday, Mr. X worked 10 hours. This includes his regular 8 hours plus 2 hours of overtime. How much does he get paid? Employees who work on a regular holiday receive 200% of their daily wage. Overtime is calculated on the top of holiday pay, usually at the rate of 130%. Regular 8 hours on a holiday. 100 times 8 hours times 2 is equals to 1,600. Overtime 2 hours, the overtime rate is a bit tricky here. It seems to be calculated 260% of the regular hourly rate. So, 100 times 2 hours times 2.6 is equals to 520. Mr. X should receive 2,120 for that day. Mr. X worked 8 hours on All Saints' Day, a special holiday. Special holidays have different pay rules rather than holidays. How much does he get paid? Employees working on special holiday receive 130% of their daily wage. This means they get their regular pay plus an extra 30. So, daily wage 100 times 8 hours is equals to 800. Holiday pay 800 times 1.3 is equals to 1,040. Mr. X should receive 1,040 for that day.
So, on scenario 7, Mr. X worked for 10 hours straight during the All Saints' Day. But since it is a special non-working day, he will receive 130% of their daily wage. But since their regular working hours is only 8 hours, so he has 2 hours overtime. And now, he will also receive 1.69%. Now, let's find out how did his salary became 1,378 pesos from 800 pesos. So, 100 is hourly income na niya, then times 8 hours sa iyang duty. Then, kanang 1.3 is tungod na sa nag-work siya og special holiday. Now, money ang computation sa iyang overtime. 100 times 2 since 10 hours siya nag-work, 1.69. So, nga nung 1.69 siya. Babalaan ninyo siya after ma-add na to ni. So, 100% is ayahaning 100% nga daily wage. Plus 30% since na siya overtime. And i-times siya sa 130% since special non-working day man siya. So, on scenario 8, Mr. X worked for 8 hours during the Christmas day. But since it is Sunday and timing rest day niya, so he will receive 30% of their daily wage. And for working regular holiday, he will receive 200% of their wage. For special non-working day, no work, no pay sila. But sa regular holiday is, bisan pag dili sila musipot, na sila'y makuha nila ang ilang sweldo for 100% since it is 200% if present sila. So, kaning 2 is mo nitong 200% sa iyahang pagtrabaho during regular holiday. Then, kaning 0.30 is tungod ni siya kay nagtrabaho siya during sa iyahang rest day, which is Sunday.
Hi guys, I am Meljik Tana and I will be talking about the obstacles to financial freedom according to Francisco Calaico and the 8 ways to invest your savings. So firstly, according to Francisco Calaico, these are the main obstacles that could lead to failure of financial freedom. So firstly, the first one is the poor spending habits. These are spending without a plan or budget that could lead to financial instability. He urges conscious spending and, most of all, don't spend impulsively. So next is, speaking of impulsive buying. So he stresses the need for discipline, buying only what's necessary, not just what feels good. Next is spending because of trend. Keeping up with trends is a form of social pressure that could lead to waste. So, focus on what is needed or what are the needs for us. Next is the lack of financial literacy. So, this is a core issue. Without understanding money, people can't build wealth or avoid scams. So, avoid scams. Procrastination is the next one. Of course, delaying savings or investing robs you of time and compounding. Start now, even small amounts. Next, inflation. This is our silent enemy. If money isn't invested wisely, it loses value over time. Nextly, next is unreasonable family or friends demands. Colaiko warns OFWs and breadwinners. Don't sacrifice your future for everyone's wants or needs. Next is fear of failure. So here, many avoid investing or starting a business out of fear. Colaiko says, educate yourself, then act. Next, and last but not the least, laziness. So, building wealth takes discipline, sacrifice, and effort. There are no shortcuts in this, and this is what is being emphasized by Francisco Colaiko. So, the advice is be intentional with every peso you have. And don't delay taking control of your finances. Learn to say no, especially to pressure from family or society. Focus on long term growth, not short term gratification. Then, lastly, start small, start now. The earlier you begin, the more you gain. Next, 8 ways to invest your savings. So here are the 8 ways to invest your savings that could help you follow what Francisco Colaiko wanted you to have. So firstly, debt reduction. This is one of the strategies that is a top priority. Pay off bad debts like credit cards ASAP. Don't invest while drowning in high interest debt. Of course, who wants to have a debt and you can pay it, right? So pay it off. You will have your money soon. Next is banks, savings, and time deposits. This is safe but has low return value. Good for emergency funds, but not ideal for long term wealth due to inflation, of course. So next is pension plans. This is a good safety net, but not enough for your own. So you need to supplement this with investments. Next is the bonds or the government and corporate bonds. This is moderate risk, moderate return. Government bonds are safer. Corporate bonds offer high yields but more risk. Next is mutual funds. Oh. Good for beginners. Colaiko recommends diversing through pooled funds like mutual funds or UITFs. Next is the stock market. This has high risk but high reward. Here you could get more money, but it has more risks. Suitable for long-term investors who are financially literate and disciplined, of course. Then next is real estate. Can build wealth if you have the capital and patience, but be careful with hidden costs and liquidity issues. Next is the active business. This is the last one and can be highly rewarding but also risky. As Kalaiko says here or advises here, please do study and plan well before starting a business. So, Kalaiko suggests financial strategies in a simple flow. First, build emergency funds, which is bank savings. Second, eliminate high interest debt. Then lastly, start investing based on your risk profile. Low risk is bonds, time deposits. Medium risks, mutual funds, balanced portfolios. And lastly, high risk stocks, business, and real estate. This is all. Thank you.
Mutual fund classification. Mutual fund classification invest where people money is pulled together and managed by professionals. First is quality funds. Quality fund is invest mainly a company stock. It is a high risk but so it is the best long-term growth. Example, investing in Jollibee or Ayala shares through a fund. Second is balanced fund. It is mix of stock and bonds, giving medium return. It balance growth and safety. Example, a fund with 50% and 50% bonds. Third is bonds fund. This focus on government corporate bonds. It was a low risk and steady income, making it a good of conservative investor. Example, a Philippine is treasury bond fund. And the fourth one is money market fund. This is invest in a very safety short-term instrument like time deposit and treasury bills. Was very low risk and very low return based of a short-term savings. Example, parking money for 3 to 6 months safety. Advantage of mutual funds. Low initial investment. You can start invest with a small amount. Example, fund accept 1,000 as a starting investment. Second is diversifications. Your money is spread across many investments, reducing risk. Example is instead of buying one stock, the fund is invest in 15 different companies. Third is convenience and cost efficiency. Professional manager money, savings the time and effort. Example, you need to study the stock market daily and fund manager does it for you. And the fourth, principle in compounding at work. Earning and invested so your money is growth faster over time. Example, dividend or added back to your investment, earning more in the future. The fifth is no more tax and additional charges. Mutual funds are usually free from certain tax, helping you keep more your earnings. And examples, gain from mutual funds are not subject or capital gains tax in the Philippines. And the sixth is regulations by Securities and Exchange Commission, which is SEC. The government regulates mutual funds, keeping them safe and legal. Example, funds must follow SEC rules to protect investors. 7 is liquid investment. You can withdraw your money anytime. Example, if you need cash, you can redeem your mutual fund share within a few days. And last is easy access to information. Performance reports are given regularly so you know your money will go. An example, fund companies send monthly quarterly updates. The disadvantage of mutual fund. First is reduced diversification. Even if you buy the multiple funds, they must be hold same stock or bonds. Example, 2 bonds may both invest in Malaya or SM stocks. Second is fee charges. Mutual fund charges management fees. Example, 2% mutual management fees reduce your earning. Third is no granted returns. Your investment may lose value if the market drops. Example, during a financial crisis, your 10,000 investment might go on to the 8,500. Other financial decision. Budgeting. Planning your income and expenses to avoid overspending. Example, setting aside 500 weekly for food and 200 for savings. And borrowing money. Taking loans when needed by paying them responsibly. Example, borrowing 5,000 from a bank to pay school fees, then repaying monthly. Third is buying a car. Big financial choice considered cost, fuel, and maintenance. Example, getting a second-hand car to save money instead of a brand new car. Next is buying a house. Long-term investment that building security. Example, paying monthly to own a house instead of renting forever. And insurance protects you from the risks like accident, sickness, or loss. Example, health insurance help cover hospital bills during emergencies. Retirement, saving for the future when you no longer work. Example, contributing to SSS, GSIS, or are a private retirement fund for an old age.
So, mabuhay ug madayaw, sir. My name is Edgar Maestre. My topic is pyramid scheme. So, what is pyramid scheme? Pyramid scheme can be also called as chain referral fraud or franchise fraud or endless chain scheme. So, this term emphasizes how the scheme relies on continuous recruitment of new members to sustain itself rather than the sale of legitimate product or services. So, kaning pyramid scheme is nagapokus sila sa pag-recruit og new members kay dito sila maka-income kung maka-recruit sila og new members. So, next is pyramid selling illegal. So, pyramid selling illegal in many countries like US because they are considered a form of fraudulent investment. They rely on recruiting new members to pay the initial participant, making the scheme unsustainable and leading to losses for most participants. So, nag-focus sila sa pag-recruit kay dito man sila maka-income. Kay pag maka-income ka, na kay commission nga makuha, mo to ang imong ma-sweldo. So, kung dili ka maka-recruit og new members is di nimo mabawi imong na-invest nga kwarta dito sila. So mo nang unsustainable and leading to losses for most participant. So next is pyramid selling or market, or what they call MLM. So what is MLM? MLM is multi-level marketing. So multi-level marketing, also called network marketing or pyramid selling, is a controversial and sometimes illegal marketing strategy for the sale or product of services in which ginapors nila ang mga members nga mag-promote sa ilang product with no salary. So this is a non-salary workforce. Ginapors nila nga promote ilang product bisag walay sweldo. Ang company nila ay maka-income kung maka-sell sila. Maka-income lang ang mga members if maka-recruit sila. Para sa aking gingon, maka-recruit sila new members is naa sila commission mo to ilang masweldo. So that's all. Thank you.